ichor. In Greek mythology, otherwise known as Greek history, the fluid that flows like blood in the veins of the gods, or a watery discharge from a wound, i.e. plasma.
A startup claims to have found the fountain of youth, and it is young blood. The company's called Ambrosia Medical. They charge $8,000 to fill older people's veins with blood from young donors. Blood from young donors.
Just like the fountain of youth, a human can unlock alchemical secrets hidden in natural materials that can stop death. And here it restores the youth from anyone who bathes or drinks it.
Ambrosia, they get plasma from a young person. This pale yellow fluid hanging from this bag is a component of blood called plasma.
Plasma, the liquid gold running through our veins.
How it works is this. You go to the doctor, in this case a plastic surgeon, and you get your blood drawn. The blood is taken to a centrifuge and spun, which separates the plasma from the rest of the junk. Inside the plasma are these little things called platelets. After the spinning, the doctors take platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, and use small little acupuncture needles to inject it back into your face.
Said to be a sin to idolize false gods, we idolize these celebrities. And these celebrities think they're gods. Gods who constantly chase immortality at any cost. Now to one of the elite's alleged biggest serial killers, obsessed with the bloodlust of immortality and restoring youth. Elizabeth Bathory, the countess bathing in her victim's blood to retain her beauty or youth. Legend has it that she bathed in the blood of at least 650 servant girls that she had tortured to increase the adrenochrome before killing. She was said to be so evil, the villagers kept their daughters in hiding for fear that Elizabeth would take them.
It was said that she enjoyed torturing and killing young girls. At first they were servants at her castles, daughters of the local peasants, but later they included girls sent to her by local gentry families to learn good manners. She believed that drinking the blood of young girls would preserve her youthfulness and her looks. Witnesses told of her stabbing victims or biting their breasts, hands, face and arms, cutting them with scissors, sticking needles into their lips or burning them with red-hot irons, coins or keys, needles under fingernails and even stitching mouths shut. Other accusations include closing them in a spiked iron maiden, like in a garlic press to extract their blood. She also had a fondness for covering villages in honey and watching as insects and animals devoured them. Some of Bathory's other alleged tortures included forcing victims to cook and eat their own flesh, forcing them to stand in buckets of ice outside until they froze to death, starvation, poisoning, and on one occasion having a gypsy man sewn up into the belly of a dead horse. In addition, witnesses said that Bathory liked using scissors to torture her victims. She used the instrument to cut off their hands, noses, and genitals. One of her favorite pastimes, witnesses said, was using scissors to slice open the skin between her victims' fingers.
Blue bloods, the elites or royal bloodlines. Silver has one of the most powerful antibacterial properties of any substance, perfect for a container of blood or ambrosia. Silver was a very pronounced way to portray wealth by royal families. Most common uses are silver forks, spoons, knives, and drinking goblets. The very high use of silver eating and drinking conveyances means that there was a very high transfer of ionic and colloidal silver mixed into the food. Most directly, the silver wine or mead goblet could leach hundreds of parts per million of silver into the wine or mead. The consumption of silver actually allowed for a very high resistance to bacterial infections, which would definitely aid in blood plasma consumption. However, the very high levels of silver also caused argyria. The condition of argyria literally caused blue skin and rather pronounced blue veins and arteries.
You are blue. Hi, you are blue.
You're blue.
Looking very similar to Papa Smurf. Many of the gods were blue.
He is Lord Shiva, who dances in cremation grounds among burning bodies and sits meditating on Mount Kailash.
Blood or plasma consumption is not new. The royals, elites and gods know that consuming and bathing in plasma or ambrosia from the young people will keep them looking young. And using the silver for bacterial reasons while consuming plasma had its side effects of keeping you blue while trying to sustain immortality. Food of the gods, ambrosia and nectar. In Greek history, ambrosia was considered the food or drink of the Olympian gods, and it was thought to bring long life and immortality to anyone who consumed it. Usually, it was thought that ambrosia was the food and nectar was the drink of the gods. One story tells the birth of Zeus, king of the gods. Now his father, the giant Titan Cronus, wished to eat him, and so his mother smuggled him off to a secret cave on Mount Dict. The cave was populated by sacred bees, which fed the infant honey. Like Zeus, the god Dionysus was raised in a cave and fed on honey also. In fact, most religions worship and have stories including bees. Now, mead or nectar as a drink for the gods is mentioned in Greek history as well as Norse history, where the god Odin was said to have gained his strength because he drank mead as a suckling baby.
The stuff kings and queens are made of, a truly noble substance from which only greatness is bred. The food of the gods. I of course speak of royal jelly. All bees more or less embark on their journey of life the same, as identical eggs laying side by side in individual hexagonal cells. But the pampering begins early for a future queen bee, with the construction of her very own crib, or queen cup. Normal larvae are only rationed small amounts of royal jelly before weaning off onto honey and pollen, but in the luxurious holding cell of a potential queen, the larva is bathed in royal jelly to continually feast on the divine substance for an extended period of time. This abundance of special nutrients is responsible for her development into a sexually mature queen bee, whereas all other peasants beneath her emerge as sterile workers. It is good to be queen. So good, in fact, people are after her royal jelly and harvest this special fluid to produce skincare products and nutritional supplements.
So the bees all start out the same, but the ones fed ambrosia royal jelly triggers the development of queen morphology. Along with the bees, multiple Greek and Norse gods become immortal gods. It makes me question our start to life. Being poisoned in the womb from our mother's diets, then heavily vaccinated from birth, then fed tainted breast milk or government formula. We are told not to give our children under 12 months honey. Is this because they'll become immortal gods? You are what you eat. The gods only ate and drank ambrosia and nectar. We only consume the government New World Order food, which I'll make a video explaining and showing how everything is poison. Stay blessed, fam.